Okay, Lights, we're going to play a game.
Okay.
Based on your new music video, Timing is Everything. Okay. What is your favorite time of day?
Probably right after the show.
What are the first 3 things you do in the morning?
Look at my phone, make a coffee, and go for a pee.
Wait, I thought you didn't like coffee.
I like iced coffee.
Okay.
Iced coffee.
Because I remember last time we talked, you were like, I like tea, not really coffee.
Yeah, and it also goes through phases. I haven't been drinking tea much lately. I think it's a summer thing. I like iced coffee in the summer.
If you could go back to any age or like time period in your life, where would you go to?
My life keeps getting better and better and better. The more comfortable I get with myself, so I would never go back.
Okay. You're like, just moving forward.
Yeah. I'd like to see where I am when I'm 50. I'll probably be a really cool 50-year-old. Looking forward to it.
Favorite time of year?
Summer.
Okay.
Big time.
And it's over now.
I know, but it's still summer here.
I know.
I'm going to Winnipeg tomorrow, and that's it's going to be a whole different story.
Yeah, 'cause
it's going to be like a blizzard.
Yeah. You're like, can't wear those shorts.
No.
You're always so obviously friendly and upbeat, but what's like the time of day, or maybe like whether it's after show or you're kind of like grumpy, or maybe you want like just alone time?
Sometimes when I first wake up, I'm a little groggy. And it's when you need the iced coffee.
I was going to say before the coffee.
Yeah, and usually like late at night, before you go to bed, you just want to go to sleep.
Okay. Do you know Saved by the Bell? Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you could freeze time, like Saved by the Bell, time out.
Okay.
What would you do in that like unclocked time?
Like get real beefed,
Okay.
like pump up a little bit.
All right.
And then so that when time goes back, they're like, oh, that girl's ripped. And
That's
so I
awesome.
walk around all the time kind of ripped.
And you're like, I've been on tour the whole time. When would I have time
you
to
guys
work
wonder
out?
why? Yeah, seriously? You like this?
That's so funny. So with the time 11/11, make a wish. What's the wish you usually make?
That I can write some great songs and put out a record I'm really stoked on. That's the greatest challenge in life, is to make sure that that's always at its finest. So if a wish could make that happen, I'd love it.
Oh, well, on this next album, right? If you go back and like give young Lights advice, knowing what you know now about the industry, what would it be?
I would probably just tell myself to stay strong in what you know you are. You know, that was one of the things that I grew up really discovering and finding that it really did help me in scenarios when you have to make decisions or when you're faced with adversity, you know, like know what your vision is and know who you are and don't falter. And I think I've lived by that a good amount, but if I told myself that when I was younger, maybe I would believe that I was making the right decisions, you know.
What's your idea of a really good time?
Having a glass of white Zinfandel and playing Left 4 Dead in my bed.
After the show tonight is what you're going to be doing. What about a time in your life when like something didn't go as planned and then you look back on it and you're like, oh, that's why it didn't happen. It wasn't, timing wasn't right.
I have made some decisions that I look back on and think, man, I wish I didn't do that. But then you can always find something that was good that came out of it, whether it's small or big. There's always something good that came out of it. So I can't really say I wish something went differently, you know?
Okay.
Because I'm pretty happy.
Okay. And then moving forward to this next album, what are you most looking forward to the writing process?
I'm excited to see what kind of record it turns out to be, because it's going to evolve as soon as I start diving in and figuring out what I want to do and what the record's going to sound like. It's this whole new exploratory phase, and it's exciting because your heart starts to beat a little faster because you're like, this is what's going to be next for me, and you start to envision touring on it, and for the next 2 years of your life, you know, it's going to be that. So I'm excited to just kind of start writing and seeing what kind of songs come out, you know?
Cool, awesome. Well, we can't wait to see what kind of songs come out.
I can't.
Thank you so much
Of
for
course.
talking with me.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, this is Lights. You're watching Hollywire.com.